Shlomo HaMelech says, boredom leads to sin. You do nothing, you're going to end up sinning. You have to do something. Now, the first sin, small sin, tiny sin. What's a small sin? 1 minute. 1 minute. Would you say 1 minute? How much bad could possibly happen in 1 minute? What could possibly go wrong with 1 minute? Now, if I told you that 1 minute, and really 1 second, is the difference between life and death spiritually forever, would you believe me? 1 second is the difference between you being lazy or you being excited about mitzvot. It will make a difference of whether you survive Yom Kippur or not. Why? That 1 second, if you started to think about Shabbat on Friday afternoon, that means that by the time you finish cooking, there's only maybe 15 minutes late, 15 minutes before Shabbat comes. You go take a shower, you go get dressed, before you know it, you light the candles, mitzvah, kedusha, wife lighting candles. This is one of the 3 important mitzvot that we say in Shabbat, in Masechet Shabbat. It says there's 3 important mitzvot for a woman. 3 mitzvot. Shabbat, the actual lighting of the candles, the challah, and nida. 3 critical mitzvot that they review in Shamayim on a regular basis. When? When the woman is about to give birth. Why when a woman is about to give birth? Gemara Masechet Shabbat, page 34, I believe. It says that at that moment she's in sakana, she's at risk. Malach HaMavet comes to Shamayim and says, look, Hashem, she lit the candles. She lit the candles every Shabbat. But every Shabbat, she was 1 second late. In Shamayim, that's Chilul Shabbat 100%. 1 second, 1 second late means you lit candles, you lit fire on Shabbat. 1 second. I'm not talking about 20 minutes, a half hour, or you decide like the Reform people to light candles like in the afternoon on the next day because it's nice and it smells good. No, we're talking about you thinking you do mitzvah. Mitzvah 1 second into Shabbat is the difference between life and death at the moment she's about to give birth. Satan comes to Shamayim, look, that one time she was late. Why? Because she was playing, she was talking, she was saying Lashon Hara all afternoon. She was on the phone with her friend and her sister and that one and this one. She forgot about Shabbat until 1 second before Shabbat. She lit the candles, but it was too late. It was already Shabbat. At the time of pregnancy, the Gemara says, this is the reason in Shamayim they decide to kill her. Why? She has to have merit to survive pregnancy. Not the pregnancy the whole 9 months, but the pregnancy in essence, the actual labor itself and actually having the baby. And people think, I used to think, nah, this doesn't happen anymore. Today, modern technology, medical technology, no one dies. Yesterday somebody died. 2 days ago somebody died. A week ago, a week and a half ago. Every day you get Shem Echem, so many news. In the same place, Rabbi Ephraim, God bless him, and his wife just had a baby boy. She said, the woman next to me gave birth, same time, went home, everything was fine. Came back, she had a little bit of pain. 6 days later, they checked into her, she died on the table. After 6 days, you're already home, you're already celebrating. I had a boy, I had a girl, I had a whatever. 6 days later, Malach HaMavet was still waiting. People think this doesn't happen, it's far away. No, it's happening. You just don't know. It's happening. So, the 1 second difference made a difference. We don't know for her or anybody else. The point is, the 1 second is the big difference. But Satan tells you it's not a big deal. Another is nida. The other mitzvah is nida. A woman must go to the mikveh every month in order for her to become purified and to be able to be with her husband. This is not only because of intimacy. This is also because you're not even allowed to touch his finger. You're not allowed to touch your husband's finger, and your husband is not allowed to touch your finger if you're nida, finger. A woman came to the Chachamim and says, look, my husband was Talmid Chacham, but he died. I thought the Torah says that if someone learns Torah, Hashem protects him. Chachamim didn't have an answer. She kept crying. This is in the Gemara. Eliyahu Navi comes. She goes to Eliyahu Navi, Elijah the prophet. She tells him, my husband learned Torah, didn't mitzvot, but Hashem killed him at a young age. What kind of God is this? And he says to her, when you were Nida, did he touch you? Because no, chas v'shalom. No, he never touched me, never touched anything. He never touched even my finger, he wouldn't touch. Nothing. Oh, okay. Did he sleep with you in the bed? Not intimately, he just slept on the other side. He slept on one side of the bed, same bed. I slept on the other side, but he didn't touch me. Eliyahu Navi says in the Gemara, Baruch Hashem that Hashem killed him. It's El Melech Ne'eman. We can rely on this God. Why we rely on God? He's emet. He's 100%. That's the truth. Why? You're not allowed to put yourself in that jeopardy. Not allowed to sleep with your wife in the same bed. Either have two beds right next to each other, sleep different bed, whatever. You're not allowed to be in the same bed. So now Nida, see, it's a more important mitzvah. Most Orthodox Jews know this mitzvah. Now, one thing that the women may not tell you is that there's a woman in a mikveh that watches. Why do they have a woman? What, people don't know how to go? They go to the pool every day for 30 years. They don't know how to go into the pool. 30 years they go into the pool. They don't know how to go to the pool. Go in the pool, that's it. Why do I need somebody to look at me? For what? What's this for? What's this woman for? It's annoying. Come on. No, it's not that they see you naked. The point is that's invading your privacy. Why? In reality, if it's a woman with yirat shamayim, not one of these reshayites that tells people lashon hara about you after you leave the mikveh. Talk about honest women that have yirat shamayim. Because sometimes you have women that they're at the mikveh just because they want to know everybody's business. Or they make fun of people and stuff like that. There's reshaim. Don't worry, there's a lot of reshaim. There's reshaim in the world. There's one mikveh here in Florida, Hashem Yerachem, rejected one of my students. Told, no, don't come here. Tzadika, Kdosha came to the mikveh, told, don't come here. Don't come to the mikveh. There's somebody like that, you need to pray for somebody like that to die. If we're allowed to pray for another Jew to die, I would pray for this person to die. Somebody like this. A rabbi tells one of my students not to go because he's racist, because he's prejudiced, because whatever. Somebody like that, if it was allowed, I would pray for him to die. That's how much I hate him. You're allowed to hate him. But anyway, when someone has yirat shamayim, they're trying to save your life, really. Why are they trying to save your life? Because we said if a man is with his wife when she's nida, a man is with a woman, she's nida, all these single guys that have girlfriends and they act like they're married, you should know she's nida. And that's isur karet. That is the worst sin. That's karet. There's 36 different sins that in Shamayim they cut you off. It's like Chilul Shabbat. Or Avodah Zarah, or idol worshipping. It's isur karet. You're with a woman that's nida, it's isur karet. This is horrendous. Rambam says there's no recovery from it in the next world. Recovery here, you can do tshuva here, but if you go into Shamayim with karet, there's no recovery. There's no tshuva in Shamayim. So this woman, she has yirat shamayim, she's trying to save your life. Why? Because if you have one hair, you have tens of thousands of hairs on your head. Tens of thousands of hairs on your head. One hair. You have tens of thousands of hair on your head. One hair sticks out of the pool that you've been going to for 30 years. One hair, one single hair sticks out, you still need that. You still need that. That's why the law in Judaism is to have somebody over there. See, why? Your hair needs to be inside. It's not that you don't know how to dip in a pool. But you don't see your hair, what happens to it? It can be sticking out. One hair is the difference between Nida and Torah. One hair. Satan says, nah, come on, she's invading your privacy, she's annoying, these rules, these this, these that, crazy, machmirim. No, shaving your life, really. But Satan tells you crazy things in your head. Another thing is modesty. I don't know how many women I see when they come to Shurei Torah or they're in the kosher markets and, you train yourself eventually. You have a reflex. You see a woman, you look away. But there's still a half a second, 1 second that you see the person. And the Yetzer Hara lets you see the person, and what ends up happening is you see how they're dressed. So I don't know how often it happens where I see someone and says, oh, Baruch Hashem, this is a tzaddiket. Why? Most women are 6 inches from Gan Eden. Most women are 6 inches in this generation. I'm talking about religion. I'm not talking about the secular people. Secular people are not wearing clothes at all. I'm talking about most religious women, religious Jewish women, are 6 inches from Gan Eden. 6 inches. What's 6 inches from Gan Eden? 6 inches too short. If there was 6 inches more, they would actually go to Gan Eden. They wear skirts that barely cover the knee. Barely. Sometimes don't cover the knee at all. 6 more inches. If they would actually cover the knee, past the knee, after they sit down, it's modest. But because it doesn't cover the knee, or it covers the knee, but as soon as they sit down, it doesn't cover the knee, it's no longer modest. You're not allowed to wear it. So mamash, the fact that it's 6 inches too short is the difference between modest and not modest. And in Shamayim, modesty for women, number 1 mitzvah. It's impossible for a woman to go to Gan Eden if she's not modest. Impossible. So, mamash, you have religious women, they're trying to do their best, they're trying to do this, they're trying to do that, they eat kosher, they cook this, they do that. They're great people. Nothing wrong with them as people. But apparently their Rabbanim didn't tell them that they're 6 inches away. 6 inches, mamash, 6 inches. Really, ideally, they should wear the skirts or the dresses that are all the way to the ankles. But even if you want to wear something a little shorter, you're allowed, but it has to cover a third of your calf. Has to cover a third of your calf, which the Chachamim debate whether it's 4 inches past the knee or 6 inches past the knee. Nonetheless, it's definitely past the knee after you sit down. After you sit down. Not where people just get the thing and as soon as they sit down, they keep pulling it down. Like it's, one of those stretch toys.
Never understood that. Why you wear a skirt anyway?
Right. Satan tells you that it's okay, it's no big deal. 6 inches too short, 6 inches too long, it's all the same, it's 6 inches. Come on, for the Rav, the skirt is already 2 feet. 6 inches is nothing. Look at the rest of me. You understand? 6 inches. Satan tells you 6 inches is nothing. Also, matzah, if you don't watch it carefully, 1 second makes it chametz. When you make matzah, 1 second difference, you have matzah, 18 minutes, you have 1 second difference, chametz. Meaning you have din karet. You eat chametz on Pesach, karet. Cut off from the nation. 1 second difference. We're not talking about 10 minutes. We're not talking about, cook it over a weekend. 1 minute, 1 second difference. You didn't follow the halakha, you let the matzah rise, you let the... Not kosher. 1 second.
This is a Shabbat question.
Okay.
Let's say sometimes we go to shul and let's say candle lighting is 7:20.
Yeah.
And some people still dress like 7:25, 7:30.
Okay.
Like, it's the 18 minutes, I never understood how that works.
The times reported are usually before Shabbat, meaning that the times you see on, let's say, Chabad or all the applications, they are not reporting exactly. They're reporting when to light candles. But the actual Shabbat usually starts about 18 minutes after that. That's why usually when you go to Beit Knesset at that time, they're doing mincha. Now if you did mincha, and if it was Shabbat, you couldn't do the mincha of the week. You're still doing the mincha of the week. When does Shabbat start usually? It's supposed to be set up in a way where you're actually saying Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi, that's when Shabbat starts. We do Kabbalat Shabbat, you finish mincha, it's still regular day, you go right into Kabbalat Shabbat, you sing, you get to a section of Lecha Dodi, at that moment, Shabbat started. So that's somewhere in around of the 18-20 minute range or so. You finish Tefillah pretty quickly today. It's about 18 to 20 minutes after that time. But that means that you have to be the shul. You have to know when they're doing it. You can't just say, no, I'll just start Shabbat on my own 20 minutes after this time. No, if you're home, you start Shabbat on that time. You don't start it 20 minutes later. So you have to be careful. And why are we careful? Because again, a second difference, a minute difference, you're playing with your life. You're playing with eternity. We're not talking about you're playing with $100 or $1,000 or $100,000. You're putting it on black. You're not playing with money here. You're playing with eternity.